Good evening, Tottenham fans. Tottenham are playing against Sunderland at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and this is another game that I am not looking forward to. Sunderland are a very physical side. They know how to stop teams from getting at them. They've just drawn with Manchester City 0-0, so they really held them. They stopped them from progressing the ball. They stopped them from getting chances. They got a draw with Arsenal 2-2. They beat their rivals Newcastle 1-0. They're very good at containing teams, and Spurs are not very good at attacking. So I'm dreading this game. And if Thomas Frank does this, what I'm about to talk about today, Spurs will inevitably lose. It'll be an obvious outcome in my opinion. I just think that the way I think Thomas Frank is going to set up, he's going to set up defensively. I think he's going to set up not to lose. I think he's going to try to play the counter-attacking football, which won't work because Sunderland won't be coming all out at us. I think Sunderland will be there to try to contain us. But I do think that Spurs should go for this game, and I really pray that Thomas Frank doesn't do what I think he's going to do. Now, this is what I think Thomas Frank will do. Let me just show you a lineup that we had against Brentford. I think he's going to go for the same thing again. I think he's going to have our usual back five other than your doggy. Paulinho, Bentancur midfield, and Gray in the middle in that 10 role with Kudus and Odegaard on the wings, Richarlison up front. Now, if he goes for this and he sits back defensively against Sunderland at home, instantly the fans will be against him. I honestly do believe that. I believe if he went for that lineup that I've just showed and he goes defensively and he wants to try to nick a goal here and there from set pieces or long throw-ins, and he doesn't take the game to Sunderland at home, and something bad happens in the game, like Sunderland take the lead, I do honestly believe that the fans will turn on Thomas Frank. I honestly do. The frustrations will be so clear on the day. It will. It's so obvious. It's like an obvious outcome for me. It really is, and it's a shame because Sunderland are going to be playing twice in a week, which they're not used to. They've got multiple players out at AFCON at the moment. They're struggling with a couple of injuries as well. It's time. They're not as good away as they are at home either. So this is prime to take advantage and get a victory at Sunderland, against Sunderland. We can beat them if we take the game to Sunderland. But I don't think we will, and that is the problem. I don't think we'll take it to Sunderland. I believe we're going to have a below 1 XG again against them, especially in the first half. I think they will contain us massively. They're very strong physically. They're very strong defensively. They will compete for everything. They will fight for everything. Have we got the fight in us to beat them? Now, if we do this lineup, and this is what I think we should go for against Sunderland, rather than sit back and hope that we don't concede, I think we should take the game to Sunderland. And this is the lineup I think we should go for. The back five can't change. We haven't got many options there. But if Bergvall's fit, I know he's a doubt for the game, but if Bergvall's fit, put Bergvall and Bentancur in the middle. Bentancur was better than Paulinho against Brentford, so that's why I'm putting him in. Odegaard, play him in the 10. He's so dangerous when he gets on that ball and runs at players. He seems to make a lot of space and open up the pitch. He's got so much skill and he's got a good shot on him. Put him in that middle where he can be effective. Kudus on the right through lack of options, especially now Brennan Johnson's gone. And give bloody Tell some time. Give him some time. Put him on the left-hand side. Tell can cause some damage. And we put Mawani in that 9 role, not Richarlison. Put Mawani in that role. Mawani will make so much more of an impact in that role than Richarlison will. I know we're playing Richarlison because he scores goals, but it'd be better for Richarlison to come off the bench and maybe affect the game later on in the game when the defense is getting tired. He can cause all sorts of problems. I think Moana would be better starting in that 9. I think that's a lot more of an attacking threat if we go for this rather than go for this other one. This is what I think Frank will go for, and this is what I think we should go for. So honestly, if we don't go into this with an attack mind, and we go into this defensively, not creating any chances. In the last game against Brentford, we gave the ball away 25 times. That's unacceptable for a Premier League team to be giving the ball away 25 times. We cannot be doing that. And this is the thing. This is not all Frank, because if the players are giving the ball away that many times, what's a manager going to do about it? So it's just as much on the players as it is Frank tomorrow against Sunderland. I do believe we do need to really go for this game. I can't imagine the fans being happy with us sitting back, not having any shots, having a really low XG, misplacing passes, Sunderland getting lots of chances, and we're just sitting back defending for our lives. We're at home. We've got all the crowd behind us. I just think the crowd will quickly turn, and it could get ugly for Spurs. It feels like an obvious outcome. It feels like this is what's going to happen. It feels like we're going to lose this game 1-0 or something. I hope Thomas Frank really proves me wrong, but can anybody please tell me in the comments, can anybody predict a Spurs win here? We're so bad at home as well. We're awful at home. And some of the players are even coming out, like Odegaard said he struggles playing at home because he suffers with anxiety. And when the fans get on his back or get on the team's back, it makes him worse. The fans are brilliant. And I hate that Frank keeps digging them out. The fans are so good. But what do you want them to do if you're playing poor, you're misplacing passes, you're not trying to score goals, you're at home against Sunderland and you're defending? Of course it's going to cause the fans to be disgruntled. Of course it's going to. But the players have to step up and say, right, we're going to give them something to cheer about and play the ball forwards. Like, it's not rocket science. And when we're saying we haven't got Xavi Simons, we've got Maddison, we ain't got Kulu, we ain't got Solanke, that's fair enough. But the 4 players I mentioned up front are good enough to create chances at least. I'm not saying that they can score 10 goals every single game. I'm saying that they can create chances. You know, Tel and Odegaard, both French under-21 internationals. You've got Mawani, who's a French international. You've got Kudos as Ghanaian international. You know, they can play football. They know how to score goals. They know how to create goals. I don't like this excuse that we haven't got Maddison or Kulusevski. That's no excuse to not create chances. It really isn't. So Frank really needs to start getting the fans on board. And he can slowly do that by going for games. To dare is to do is our motto. If we're not daring, if we're not doing, if we're not trying, if we're not attacking, if we're giving the opposition too much respect and not allowing us to breathe and not allowing us to do what we can do, then the fans are not going to be happy with that. I don't think at the moment Frank is understanding what we actually want. So we know we're going to lose games. We're happy with that. As long as we're going to try and win games. You can't act like a mid-table side, or at the moment we're acting like a bottom 5 side that's trying to scrape points through the Christmas period. We're not a bottom 5 side. You know, these players have been really underperforming this season, but I don't believe they're as bad as what they're showing at the moment. Frank needs to get the best out of them. Do they want to play for Frank? That's another question entirely. Are they playing for the badge? Doesn't look like it at the moment. There's too many underperforming players. We need to get some really top quality players in to push these players to play better, because at the moment Porro's got his place saved because Spence has to cover your doggy on the left, so Porro can play however he wants and he knows he's going to play again next week. You've got Romero, he's the captain. There's no one really to take his place other than Danso. I think Danso would do a fantastic job, but Romero is a captain, so he knows he can play however he wants. Benton Kerr's just got his new contract, so he knows he can play however he wants as well. There isn't much competition in that midfield either. So for me, it needs a massive reshuffle. It needs some top players to come in there and say, look, we're going to start winning games now. It'd be nice. I think Xavi's, this is his last game where he's banned. I think he can play the next one. So it'd be nice to see him come back, and hopefully by then Frank's realised we need to play attacking football. If he hasn't realised that by now, I don't think he ever will. I understand it when he says we have to play defensively. We need to make sure we don't lose games, but don't just have that mindset. You can attack teams, get 1-0 up, and then do that. That's fine. If you want to get 1-0 up and then play that defensive mindset and sit out a 1-0 victory, if it works, then great. But it's very risky to play defensively against anyone, because all it takes is for them to have a set piece and score. Then all of a sudden you've got to rearrange your whole team because you've set them up to defend. So for me, Frank, you've really got to just release those shackles and say, just trust your forward players. Trust them to do what they got to do. You know, what is the alternative? Carry on doing what you're doing, hardly getting any points, hardly getting any shots on target, and get sacked, or just dare to win. Dare to win, Frank, and people will start getting behind you, I promise you. Let me know in the comments what you think of today's video. Do you think we should go at Sunderland and take advantage of the second game in a week and AFCON players going away? Or do you think we should be cautious because Sunderland are on top form at the moment and we should play defensively? Let me know in the comments what you want to see Frank doing tomorrow versus Sunderland. Thank you for watching. Come on, you Spurs.